Hey, this is Amy with Floral Moxie, and I know I say I'm excited about every tutorial, but I'm really excited about this one. I want to say from the start, it was not my idea. It was actually Natalie, who's on our orders team. She suggested, she's like, what about like a floral tie clip? And I had never seen or heard of that, but I thought surely somebody else has done it. And I looked and I couldn't find it. So this might be, you know, kind of like a good original idea. This I bought on Amazon, and I think what I love about this is it's just a great alternative idea to a traditional boutonniere, especially if your wedding party is not wearing jackets or vests or suspenders. It's very, very hard to pin a boutonniere just to a shirt. A lot of times in the summer, the groomsmen may like skip the jacket and just wear like a shirt and tie, and as a wedding planner and as a florist trying to pin a boutonniere to a shirt, it's just never gonna lay right. So this is a great alternative, and yeah, we're just gonna have a lot of fun with this. So what I'm working with today is more dried elements because that's what we're doing today with all of our video shoots. You can absolutely use fresh flowers. For the mechanics and the how you're going to adhere the florals to the tie clip, you can use floral adhesive, but what I'm going to use today is a low temperature hot glue gun. And the reason being is the fresh glue is not really available. This is like my last sad tube of glue, and we can't find it right now just due to the pandemic. So you can absolutely use a low temperature hot glue gun on fresh flowers, and I'll show you how to do it. Basically, you'll put a little bit down, let it cool off a bit, and then insert your flower. So it's not ideal, but I've used it for years and it works just fine. Okay, another thing is that you want to keep in mind is control the size of how how many flowers you use and how big you can make it. So it's nice to have a tie handy and to, you know, hold it against the tie to see how big it's going, because the first one I made, I was like, oh my gosh, that's like way too big. So for me, I wanted to make it still a little bit, you know, just kind of slick, a little bit more slender and not so fatty. Okay, let's get started. So I have some stem tape, and because this is metal, I don't want to glue anything directly to this metal. There's too big of a chance it can pop off. I'm probably gonna over-engineer it a little bit, but I'm okay with that. So the way I get it started is I take some stem tape and I'm gonna wrap the metal part of this tie clip. And the reason being is glue does not love to stick on metal, especially hot glue. It can pop off on you. And so we want to give it something a little bit better to adhere to. Okay. So I could glue directly to this, but I feel like I need a little bit more surface area to work with. So I'm gonna put some cardboard on top of this. How I figure out how much I need, this is just like the top of a Kleenex box, is I'm gonna hold it in place and then take my scissors and just kind of do a rough cut. Okay, now I'm gonna shape it up a little bit. I don't want it too big because I want to control my size, but it's nice just to have a little bit more to work with. And I'm probably going to position it a little bit down because someone's going to have to squeeze to open this. So I don't want to put like a lot of heavy florals on the end. I want to just be mindful that they're going to have to use that. Sorry about this like nasty chip on my on my fingernail. Okay, so I can use the hot glue, but you know how hot glue can sometimes, things can pop off of hot glue? What I'm gonna use instead is a glue strip. So you can buy these at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and I just feel a little bit better about this versus hot glue to hold the entire thing down. Okay, so here's my little glue strip. I don't want that to hang over, so I'm gonna fold it in on itself because I don't want it to get stuck to the person's tie who's wearing it. I need one more piece. I mean, maybe I'm over engineering it a bit, but being a wedding planner and a florist, I could build something really great in the studio, but that wasn't in real life. So after seeing like my lovely anemone boutonnieres getting like smashed after 30 minutes, then, you know, I learned. Okay, so I've got this piece of cardboard and I'm just gonna position this tie clip on it, and there you go. So we can still easily open it, and then I have like a better substrate to work with. Okay, so now we're just gonna start gluing on our elements. One thing that, why I have this here is it's easier to work with it if it's, you know, clamped onto something versus on the, just laying on the table. Okay. What do I want to start with first? First thing I always keep in mind is how do I cover my mechanics. So I've got some baby eucalyptus, which is fresh, it isn't dried, but it dries really nicely. So I feel like I can use that. So low tin pot glue gun, fresh flowers, I wouldn't probably directly want to apply this onto like a rose or spray rose or something like that, but I know I'm gonna cover this up anyways. I'm just trying to get some coverage for my foam, or I'm sorry, not my foam, my cardboard. I'm just gonna work my way over. I've got this really pretty piece of bleached and tinted leather leaf that I like a lot. And the great thing about dried is you can just put that hot glue directly on the stem. One thing, super important. Let me see. You want a trash stem to push this down. You don't want to use your fingers. And again, make sure you get a small low temperature hot glue gun. You don't want to bust out your mom's 1980s hot glue gun, the kind that's like so not OSHA approved. I have like very specific memories of like burning my flesh off with that. So these are really inexpensive. Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, Target, they have them. And so it's just kind of a matter of layering things in. I find that there's like two types of florists, the types that like to just build these like small little detailed things, and the type of florists that just like to do the larger installations and floral monstrosities, and I would probably be that type of florist. So small things, they're not my favorite, but I do enjoy something like this. Okay. This is some bleached bunny tail grass. I tried to kind of find like the smallest plumes that I could. When it's dried, you can make it well in advance, obviously. If you're doing fresh, you can make it 3 days in advance as long as you keep it in a hydration chamber. And if this is the first video that you've watched of mine, a hydration chamber is simply Tupperware with a damp paper towel on the bottom, and then you put like your boutonniere down, and then you put a damp paper towel on top. So this is, I think, limonium. And yeah, just be really mindful not to burn your finger right before your wedding. I did that right before my wedding, I was, it was like the week of my wedding, and I was cleaning out all my candles, like my big candle votives. And, you know, I had to pour boiling water in them to get the wax out, and yeah, poured it right on my ring finger. I was so terrified I was gonna have like this big like water blister, but it calmed down. It was all fine, but your wedding week it's pretty intense. So I have these little pieces, the tops of this baby eucalyptus. And it's really nice because with baby eucalyptus, you'll get like these little guys down bottom, and that's just a way you can use them. Where did my trash stem go? Okay. Okay, let's see. This is some bleached ruscus. It takes so little when it comes to boutonnieres and things like this. People will email us and they're like, can I add on to my flower order because I'm adding 3 more boutonnieres? And I'm like, girl, just look around on the floor. You'll find everything that you need. Like all the trash is perfect for this kind of work. Like all the scraps. I don't like that peach color. So this is just a slow patience game. This is not my spiritual gifting. So sometimes I'll kind of hold things in where I want it, and I don't want it so flat, so I'm positioning things to where they kind of come out a little bit, which is nice when it comes to the hot glue, because fresh floral glue will not, it doesn't dry fast enough to allow you to position things in that way. So although there's some negatives when it comes to the hot glue, there's some definite positives. And let's bring in a little bleach baby's breath. If you notice, I'm putting it directly on the stem because of drying time. If I was working with fresh, I would have to approach it a little bit differently. I would put some on the place where I was going to, I'd have to be really sure of my placement. I would put the glue down, let it dry a little bit, and then insert my flower. And I would try not to go stem down. I would try to like lay it at an angle so I wouldn't like shock my flower. Like these things feel so tiny, but then when you hold it, I'm gonna see if I can, yeah, I'm gonna par this down a little bit. Okay, I got way too much glue on that guy. There we go. Okay, let's work our way, keep working our way over. When I was doing weddings all the time, I got really spoiled because there would be designers that loved to sit and do this, so they would just do all this for me. And you notice I'm working from the bottom up. I don't want to come in and just clip off the prettiest part because I'm not going to use all of this, and I can still use that top piece for a really nice, like a piece in a centerpiece or. Doing something like this will really make you respect florist quotes. You see that it takes a lot more time than what you think, and it's little detailed work. So DIYing is a definite way to save money, but I always like to reiterate it's not because florists charge too much. It's because it takes a lot of time and flowers are really expensive. So if you're DIYing, you definitely save money because you're taking on that role, and you're gonna spend the time sitting here building these little detailed elements. Okay, so it's looking really good so far. I've got a lot of these little hot glue cobwebs that we'll pull off. This would be a good time to hold it in front of your tie and kind of see how you're feeling about it. And I'm loving it. So this kind of tells me that I don't want to get wider. I obviously need to finish off this portion, but it's good to have a tie handy. So I'm getting near the end point, and I want to reiterate that we don't want to put really delicate things on that very end where you know that they're going to have to like pinch down to clamp the tie clip. So I'm going to put kind of hardier things that can withstand the pressure. I'm out of hot glue. I think I got an extra stick over there. It's amazing how like you're just using just a little bit at a time and you're like, it's already done. So I'm going to position that at just kind of like a slight angle, and then come back in with these little individual leaves. It's crazy, you think something's like so tiny it won't show up, and it does. Oh my gosh. This is just chaos at this point. Let me take something that I'm not good at and then make a video doing it. And it's just more about layering in the little elements to give it that finished look. So after watching this tutorial, do you want to make like 10 of them now? You're like, just the groom or just the bride gets one of these. This is a really good alternative solution. Sometimes like if you have a woman in your wedding party that doesn't feel comfortable wearing a dress or doesn't want to carry a bouquet, it just is a great alternative idea to offer to see what, you know, they're comfortable having. Okay, Pretty much wrapping this up. Ah, dang it. I glued this one too. Hold on, let me fix this guy. He got glued to my notepad. I actually feel like this would be pretty hard with just straight floral glue, because it takes this stuff about, I feel like 20-30 minutes to really set up. Very good. All right, I feel like I'm at a good place. Now I'm gonna find all those little hot glue cobwebs and pull it off. If this was fresh, I would put it in a hydration chamber. Dried makes our life easier. And this is the hardest part of the tutorial. Let's see if I can. Okay. Okay. I love it so much. Really great boutonniere alternative. So everything that I used, we had some tinted bleached leather leaf. I had little happy flowers, bleached Italian ruscus, baby blue eucalyptus leaves. I had, this is, I think limonium status would work. So anything dry, just little pieces, you just layer in, keep clustering them, and then make sure you keep a tie handy. That way you can hold it up, because doing this tiny work, it's easy to make it really large and in charge, and that might not be the look that you're going for. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If this video helped you or inspired you in any way, make sure you like and subscribe. That really helps us. That way I can continue to create more tutorials and education for you guys. Don't forget to visit flowermoxie.com to shop your DIY wedding flowers, and we'll see you next time.